All right, good evening and welcome to another episode of Just the Facts. We usually say a prayer before we start our programs. So I will open up in a word of prayer. So let us pray. Heavenly Father God, we thank you for your love, for your mercies, for your grace. We thank you for life, God, and just us being here in this studio right now. We thank you for our guests. And we say a special prayer for them, God, because as they continue to be role models and leaders, we just pray that you grant them the strength, help them to continue to carry on the work that they do as ambassadors, as role models for young people, as they continue to do their community work, as they continue to inspire, as they continue to guide our youngsters. We just pray a special prayer for them in this very moment. We thank you for allowing us to be here in studio to discuss what they do and how they do it. We pray for their blessings, God. May blessings follow them. We thank you in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. All right, so we're here again for another episode of Just the Facts, and tonight we shine the spotlight on three outstanding Anguillan men who have been recognized during Men's Week, which was last week, for their service, their leadership, and their positive impact on our community. First, congratulations to each of you. Your selection is an honor. It is a recognition of the countless hours, the sacrifice, the contributions you have made to the people of Anguilla. In a world where young people are constantly searching for examples to follow, your lives demonstrate that leadership comes in many forms. Your influence extends beyond your individual achievements. People watch you, the young people learn from you, and they are inspired by you. You represent the very best of what it means to serve, to lead, and to give back. We continue to celebrate you, we appreciate you, and we thank you for the positive mark that you continue to make on Anguilla. Joining us tonight, we have Wiglaf Gums. Viggy, known as Viggy, he's a singer, songwriter, cultural ambassador, sports enthusiast. We played football together the other night during an exhibition match. We're looking forward to the next one. And his contributions, he has contributed to Anguilla in many ways, and he has a cultural identity that inspires many here in Anguilla. We also have Devon Carter from the Forest. He proudly said the Forest Bay in a video that I saw just earlier. Devon Carter is an environmentalist, a conservation advocate, climate activist, researcher within the Anguilla National Trust. He's the vice president of Sunshine Theatre. He's a mentor, and he's even the man that we know as Santa Claus sometimes. So we appreciate you for everything that you do, Mr. Carter. Timothy Richardson.
Yes, sir.
Cycling coach, also recipient of the 2026 Anguilla Day Badge of Honor Award. And I was happy to be there on the park to witness when you walked up to the podium, and behind you, trailing, were the many young lives that you continue to impact on a daily basis. So that was a very special moment to see that you accepted the award, but within accepting the award, your team, your support, the people that you spend your afternoons with, they were also there to embrace that award and to enjoy that award with you. So gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. And we look forward to learning more individually from each one of you, what you do, what inspires you, and any message that you want to leave for the people of Anguilla today. So I'll start with my immediate left, and I'll ask Viggy. Viggy? Mm-hmm. Right. Viggy. So tell us a little bit about yourself and the work that you do here in Anguilla.
Okay, so hi, good night guys. My name is Wiglaf Gums, better known as Viggy. Most people know me for artistry, cultural activities. I'm an artist. I've been involved in music for a little over 15 years. I've been involved in sports, played cricket for practically all my life. Probably started when I was like 9 years old. I am this year's recipient of the Man of Action Award, Arts, Culture and Sports. Very honored to receive that award as well. Something I mentioned in another interview that I did with Radio Anguilla is that it always feels good to be recognized because sometimes you do things you don't see that you're doing things, especially as men, we don't see that we are doing good things, so sometimes it's really good to hear that we are doing good things. So yeah, just a young man in particular, 28 years of age, that is just trying to push the envelope and try to inspire as much young people as possible.
I just want to throw a quick question there as you speak, because you're a young guy, a very popular guy in your field, in your age group and category. What keeps you on the positive side of things? Because there's so many influences, there's so many paths to destruction. What keeps Viggy focused on this positive track?
That's a really good question, and that question I think I've never been asked before. I think it would be experience. It's experiencing or coming close to things that could be a demise and knowing that they're not good for you. Yes. I think everybody, if you drive fast and you get an accident, you won't drive fast again. So I think it really boils down to what you experience in life, the things that you've been exposed to. Seeing other people's destruction and seeing other people's demise could definitely lead you to actually understand what you need to do and then understand your true purpose. So for me, I just understand that my purpose is really bigger than myself, and I was put here to guide, lead, inspire, and to motivate other young people to be the best version of themselves.
Amazing. So there's this consciousness that exists.
For sure.
Yeah. Mr. Richardson, I'll come over to you with the same question, the opening question. Just tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Well, normally I started as a cyclist from the 1980s. I went to St. Martin, do plenty of competition, went to Guadeloupe, Antigua, and different places to do competition. And sports were my passion from a little guy growing up. And also I had some older folks when I was growing up was my mentors. So when you do wrong, they was there to correct you. You understand? And nowadays we don't have that. So after I retire, I decided when I come back home, I wanted to be a coach so that I could at least help the youngsters. And then of late, I see what was going on. So that really pushed me towards to forming a team and continue from there.
So would you say that back then, there were more mentors around than what we see today?
Yeah, a lot more mentors around. In our days coming up when we was youngsters, if you do wrong, you had some older person there to correct you. You understand? And not parents going to the school and reprimanding the teachers and things like that. We never have that at going to school. You understand? We have people that always keep us on the straight path.
So where you think the mentors disappeared to? Where the mentors gone?
Well, I think we got to blame all of us. You understand? We have to blame all of us, everybody in Angola, because if you have a child and you see a child doing wrong, you should be able to talk to that child. Other people should be able to talk to that child. You understand? In our days, when you do wrong, if anybody could have beat you, and when you go home and tell your grandmother about that, she know that you do something wrong. There's no question about that. You had to do something wrong. You understand? And all that is gone. So like I would say, we'll blame all of us.
So there's a huge gap right now that exists from how we used to look out for each other as neighbors, as a community,
everything
the
has
entire
changed.
school system, and what we have now where everybody just thinking for themselves and everybody ignoring the blaring issues that.
And then also the youngsters too, a lot of them is followers. You understand? You need leaders. You need to be a leader, not knowing wrong from right. You understand? And today we don't have that.
Well, I'll tell you, I got a lot of my guidance from the guys on the block. I used to live in George Hill, and my mother used to work in the night. My father lived separately, so I was always the oldest male figure in the house. But I had good neighbors that when my mom
back
was
in
away,
them days, you really had good,
so we got to go back to community. We got to go back to neighbors. Being truly neighbors,
right,
and looking out for each other.
Right, and we have to try to get it back so that we could get on the right track again.
Right. Mr. Carter,
Hey.
Devon Carter, known you for a long time as well. Just tell us a little bit about yourself and the work that you do.
Okay, my name is Devon Carter. I am a conservation officer at the Anguilla National Trust. I also do swim. I'm a swim instructor for the Anguilla Aqua Stars and the Anguilla Learn to Swim program. I would have started doing that with the Anguilla Red Cross, and then we transformed into our own competitive club, in which we are now going to like competitions. We just recently went to St. Martin on Saturday Pass, and a few of our swimmers won some gold medals. We got some silvers. So we're doing a lot more when it comes to like the swim aspect in Anguilla. I also work with the Sunshine Theatre, and I'm the vice president of the Sunshine Theatre group. And we try to our best to put on plays for the community, something that shares like a message to create change within the community, whether that's positive or at least telling a story of what some Anguilla past. Cause we would have done a play on the revolution in the past, and we would have recently worked with like social development to do a play talking about disaster management. Talking about hurricane preparedness and those kind of things. So we're trying to our best to use. Well, I'm trying my best to use all the work that I'm doing to help bring across a positive message throughout Anguilla. I also have a few young lads I'm mentoring as well. I have one that's shadowing me in the theater, and then I have a next one that's shadowing me in swim. So that that there's new leaders coming up and can take over from when I go. Because when I go, when I ready to sit down and relax and retire, I gotta make sure that the right people are there to take over and continue the work that me and the other people I've been working with has started. Keep the legacy going.
Tell us a little bit more about your mentorship with those young folks. You said it's with the Sunshine Theatre.
So I have two. Two young ones. They are around. One is 10, one is 12. One name is Bashan. Other one is Kylan. So with Bashan, he showed that he has an interest in theater. So when we have plays, I've been taking him with me, teaching him how to do the lights, how to do the sound. He's been helping with lines, so like with backstage. So I'm giving him a little taste of all the aspects of the theater so he can build a better appreciation of the theater. And then with Kylan, I have him like leading warm-ups, showing the kids the techniques for the different swim strokes. So by doing that, they also improve their skills, but they also can show it to the other kids that are wrong. So that's how best I try to, lead them into leading the others.
Right. Okay, so I'll come back to Mr. Gums now, Viglef. I see you on stage. I see you performing. I see you in the community, and I like to observe people. At your young age, you're very confident. Where does this confidence come? Is it something just built within you? Is it something that you had to get accustomed to? Because we have young men throughout Anguilla who perhaps, and young women who perhaps lacks confidence. And the lack of confidence can lead to bad decisions.
Of course.
So where is your strength? Where is your inner confidence coming from?
Something that I had tattooed on me about 2 years ago is right here on my inner arm. It's called, it states, adversity builds character. I think a lot of us are afraid to fail. And I feel with me, that's where my confidence comes from. My confidence comes from learned experiences. My confidence comes from a lot of failures. My confidence comes from me trying and having to figure it out. I feel that, and I'm a personal trainer as well, that's something I didn't mention, but something I tell my clients daily is that the only way you know if you can achieve this is if you try. And I feel a lot of us don't want to try because we're afraid of the outcome. So for me, my confidence has come from messing up enough times to know that I can do it the next time.
Right. And I think people need to know that as human beings, we all have our fears.
Definitely.
Right? Do you allow your fears to control you? Do you try to get a grip and try to control those fears by just embracing that next level, are just embracing that thing that you worry about, you know. So, I mean, even with me, I'm the host, but I still.
Yeah, of course. That's what it's supposed
I'm still. People would not believe, but you know, when it comes to public speaking, it is something that I didn't like.
Of course.
You know, it's not. I don't run to go to it.
Of course.
You would find that I would always try to back away first.
Of course.
But then when I'm called to be up next,
Of course.
I just gotta accept that that's my fate.
Of course.
And I have to get up and do.
Of course.
So just being able to face those fears, I think, is the message.
Yeah.
We all have them. It's just our response to
And that's a
to
very
overcome
good
them.
point, because I feel like a lot of people don't understand that people in the limelight, we have a lot more fears than you that step away.
Right.
So even with me, when I sing, every show I sing, to this day, I've been doing it 15 years. I've been on stages over probably 50 to 100 stages across the Caribbean, Barbados, 20,000 people, sing kits all over the Caribbean, and I still get nervous. If I have to perform in a trough, I get nervous because I want to do well. So at the end of the day, you're going to get nervous.
Right.
Let me jump in on that too.
Yeah.
So that's something that Felix Fleming, he taught us as well with the theater is, if you're not feeling those like butterflies, those nerves, are you human? Really? You need to feel that, and that gives you the motivation when you go on stage. You fight that, and you become a different person once you step on stage. And that butterfly, that nervousness creates that energy, put you to the next level.
Yeah, because even with the cycling, also some of the young kids, all we get training good.
Yeah.
And the day of the race, then started from
see?
puking,
Same
nervous,
thing.
diarrhea. You understand?
Right.
So that is something that
It's
the more
normal.
competition they do,
Yeah.
they will overcome it.
Yeah.
You understand? So the more competition you do, the fears will gradually go away.
So that's a message right there. You know, the more you practice, you know, it become. You know, you get to master it, but you know, the more you practice, then you know it gets easier as you go by. It don't mean that the nerves ain't you know.
It's still there, but
messing with
then you wouldn't shut.
Right.
You understand?
Right. You know, you've been there and you've done this before.
Yeah,
of course.
So you can always do it again.
Right.
Yeah. So, Mr. Richardson, you seem to focus a lot on youngsters in cycling. In terms of cycling and the ability to keep the young guys, you have females as well cycling, or it's just youngsters?
I have my granddaughter and I
Your
have
granddaughter.
2 other females.
Yeah. So in terms of the sport of cycling, you know, being an avenue where young people can focus their attention, how is it? What are you seeing as the positive impact of keeping these kids in a program?
When me and Shandon started a club,
Shandal.
Yeah, Shandon, the work English.
Okay.
Yeah, when he started a club, our focus was that we see what was going on in Anguilla, and we have a lot of youths in Bloemfontein. You understand? So I tell him one day, because I had kind of retired a bit, but then I started to get a feeling again, and I started, and he tell me, well, we have no problem with that, but our main focus is that when you come here, it's not only about cycling. You have to be disciplined, you have to do your schoolwork, you have to respect your elders, and if you come here soon, your mom call you and tell you that you're not doing your schoolwork, you'll be suspended. And when your grades come back up, then you'll be able to come back. So it's not basically only cycling. You understand? We teach them a lot of things. You understand? Respect. You understand? Discipline. So, but we have some young ones there, so watch them from where they was to where they've been now. You can naturally see the change in them.
You're seeing some growth?
Yeah, a lot of growth.
Okay, so...
Because even when we go to St. Martin, people are like, watch me like, but how our kids is like that, they are so respectful.
Right.
You understand? And that's what make me proud and make me want to push.
Right.
You understand? You see when you take a youngster that you have to push him, in less than 2 months, he's doing the island right, you don't have to touch him, so you know that kind of motivates me.
Is there a charge that you charge people?
No, I really don't charge. We do it. I do it from my heart. And almost 40 years I'm doing that.
Yeah.
You understand? You know, it's just to keep the kids off the road. You understand?
No,
So we really don't charge.
If there's a youngster, you know, maybe with some anger issues, a youngster who, you know, maybe going on the wrong path.
Yeah.
Is the program something, the cycling program, is that something that can help get this youngster back on track?
Cycling could get you discipline. Because normally, we get up, on Sundays we get up 6 o'clock every day. You understand? And you have to be there. We give you a time to be there and you have to be there. If you're not there, then you'll leave. You understand? You left behind. And from there, we seen the growth in the children then, because every afternoon we start at 5, and by the time I leave to reach home, they don't there so waiting on me already. So then you could see the interest. So when they see that and they start with that, it always try to keep them on the right track. Yeah. So we seen it. You understand?
How many youngsters do you have in the program right now?
We have about 30 kids.
Okay.
About 30 kids in general. Yeah, and you could see the progress in them, you could see the attitude change, and then not only from Blunt Point, we have from the Valley, we have from Island Harbour, we have from Stony Brook. You understand? And the more they've been together, then you wouldn't have this type of violence because they were, you understand, more jail together.
Right.
You understand? And that is my focus.
Yeah. There's definitely a need for more mixing.
Right. More you mix, you understand?
children.
Right. And this thing what we have here is about East and West, we don't need that. We need to get out of that and call a district for what it is.
Right.
Not no East and West, and because there's a division right here.
Right.
Understand?
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Carter, I come to you now with another question. Who are the role models that help shape the man that you are today?
I would say my father is one, but then our next mentor of mine would be Felix Fleming. And then from the women's side, I also had Trevine Creeley, who also helped develop me into the theater aspect of my life as well. Then I also have a next cousin, Jocelyn Terfield. She would have been the one to get me into the environmental field. She would have got me into the environmental club, and that's how I got into my true love of conservation, like working with like sea turtles. One of the first projects we would have done with the environmental club would have been to pitch the banning of the sand mining. So that was something actually carried out through my tenure at the environmental club. So I've been doing a lot of stuff since like high school, and I've been mentored, I guess. A lot of people, been through my life, helping me to get to the next stage, to where I am today. And I have to thank everyone, I can't remember all the names right now, but I do want to thank them for supporting me.
Okay. Mr. Wigley. This name confusing me today. Who or what has been the greatest influence on your personal and professional development? Any, local role models, any local influences on your life, regional or international? Growing up as a youngster, I guess you the field that you're in, being a creative, what's the inspiration behind that, or who is the inspiration behind that?
To be honest, that's a good question. Again, I think I can't really point out anybody in particular that played a definite, evident role. I definitely knew of some people that definitely helped to shape me along the way, that would give you bits and pieces of advice. Whereas like you meet somebody down the road and they may have a negative habit and they may be like, hey, don't let me ever catch you doing this. You might see somebody and be like, don't let me ever see you disrespecting your mother. Like I have a lot of people that look out for me in that regard. But in regards to like one person or one particular thing, I would definitely, I can't really attach it to anybody, but I definitely know I had good people around me, from my sisters, to my uncles and stuff like that. But anybody, one particular person, as Timothy was talking about, I think a village raised me, and I think that's very important because I can't really amount to anybody itself really doing that, but definitely my environment definitely played a good part.
Yeah, I can also attest to the village raising me.
Yeah.
And I think we need to go back to an era where we look at the village, the village look after the people within.
For sure.
We have to close the gap as it relates to being our brother's keeper. Yeah. Mr. Richardson, how has your cycling program evolved over the years?
It evolved great.
How long have you been cycling?
Well, I've been cycling almost 40 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. I started when I was 15 years. I went to St. Martin, and from there, so it just started to go from there. I'm putting in time, being focused, being serious, you understand, and had other idols there to guide me along. Like, I don't know if he had no Willie and Richard. Richard from Island Harbour. His sister that run Elevate, brother.
Okay.
Yeah, they's the one that really kind of guide me along and push me and get me to where I am today.
How does it feel when you see, you know, the youngsters that you train actually go off and win races and
It make me feel proud. Even Hassani.
yeah.
You understand? So, but we have to get a lot more Hassanis.
Right. You think the talent is there?
Yeah, talent is there. I think Bommy, he have a grandson, which is he mother that work. What her name is? I can't remember her name. Yeah, but she have a little son. His name is Zach.
Okay.
And
Okay.
have a few of them. You have
Right.
at least about 6 or 7 of them got really have talent.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes my motor pace him in the back of the car. He's about 11 years and he's doing 60 kilometers in the back of the car.
Wow.
60 kilometers, like a joke for him. You understand? So we have the talent, we just have to nurture along and put things in place that when they reach a certain age, that we could either get them over here or bring in a coach that could carry them a little further, you understand? Or you know, could do so much.
Is there any money in the sport where, you know, once they get to a certain level, you know, it's viable for them?
Yeah. Once you reach a professional, even semi-pro, you could make a living out of it. Yeah, Pogacar making something like 26 million euro
Okay.
for 3 years, 4 years. You understand? So it's there, but you just have to put things in place that we could get them elevated.
Right. So do your youngsters get the opportunity to also travel abroad and
Yeah, but
participate?
we want to travel more in the Caribbean because right now we go to St. Martin. It's no competition for us.
Wait, okay, explain that for us then.
Yeah. We went over there about two Sundays ago.
Yeah.
I've got 5 races, we win 4.
Wow.
And the one that we do second and third. But all the rest was 1, 2, 3 down the line.
Oh, wow.
You understand?
So we have some real talent here in
real talent. And those guys, sometimes we go kind of Sunday, we do something like 3.5 hours.
Right.
11-year-old.
Okay.
And when them races St. Martin and finish, it's like people ask me what am I feeding the kids? You understand? But they are putting in the time, and what you put in is what you're gonna get out. If you want con and you don't plan con, you can't get con.
Right.
So it's what you put in, you gotta get out. You understand? So, but the kids them are brilliant, and I love them. I
So
love every one of
when
them.
you say put in the time, Mr. Richardson,
Yeah.
what are you talking about? Like 3 days a week, 4 days a week?
Well, we train Monday, off Tuesdays, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday we off. Sundays when we go, can do our 3 hours, 3.5 hours. You understand? And that's constant.
Yeah.
Because when we start, the majority of them I had to push. So to kind of little trainers on top of me. You understand? But then when you see within a month time, that the same one you're pushing can win races and dominating races.
Yeah. How do you keep those who would come and maybe say this is hard and want to stop? How do you keep them?
Well, motivate. You just have to
motivated?
talk to them and keep motivating them. Nothing come easy.
Right. Do you find you have to do
Understand?
that a lot? Is it?
Well, for the first.
first,
When them newly come.
Yeah.
But after like a week now, them start to like it, and them see the distance start to expand. So they get more courage.
Right.
You understand? And those kids, when I tell you those kids are great, they are great.
Right.
You know, we just could get things in place that when them get older, that we could get them out of here, get them to a college, sport college or something.
Right.
We could do something good.
Okay. Sounds good. Mr. Carter, when you learned that you had been selected for recognition during Men's Week, what was your reaction? And so this is a 2-part question. What
Yeah.
was your reaction? And did you feel re-inspired in any way being honored this past week?
Yes, I felt excited. I felt like I was recognized for, like people, you feel seen. But I didn't even know I was nominated. I don't even know at that point who's nominating you. Because you don't know that stuff. But then
Right.
when you get the call from like Kimberly,
Yeah.
Agendas Affair, and you're like, wow.
You thought it was a prank?
A prank in a sense. I was like, what? I was happy for the achievement, and I am proud to be, selected. and one of the things I'm doing is trying to get other people involved. So like for the conference the other day, I try to get as much of my friends to come out, just to get other men, involved in activities that's happening in Angola, especially activities that are for men, which was during the Men's Day.
Right.
So like Sunday we had the Anguilla Football Association activity. So I had some of my friends. We played like the halftime 4v4 football match. And we won. Well, my team won.
Okay.
So I feel excited about that.
Another football in the house. Okay.
I haven't played football since primary school. So me being on there, we got carried, but I got to take my win.
Does it feel like more pressures on you now? Because people watching, you've been singled out.
Yeah, but I think I've felt a lot of pressure from a while now because I would have been the dean for the National Youth Ambassador Corps. So I kind of been in the limelight of like youth leadership, but I think this is like the next stage to everyone, not just youths looking at you. Like everybody has their eyes on you to see what you do next. I think everybody's just looking at all of us next moves, how we take this recognition and push forward and level up. And what is leveling up? Nobody knows what that is until it happens. So.
Now you're also well traveled, right?
Yeah.
You represent many youth organizations and you do a lot of travel. How is that exposure, helping you in your personal development?
I love to travel, and I think by traveling, I think everyone should travel because you get to see different perspectives, different views, how people behave to certain things that might be normal for us here in Anguilla, might be taboo somewhere else. So being able to get those different experiences, and I don't just travel, for like vacation or anything. Like it's always trying to go for something learning, whether that's for work. Because a few months ago, I would have gone to Guadeloupe to help train some of the Guadeloupe nature staff there on how to deal with like iguanas, because I'm a big promoter of conservation and protecting animals and protecting lands and plants. I believe that the Caribbean should be fighting to preserve as much as they can so that the next generation can see our experience or we're experiencing today. I even seen what persons in the past has experienced. So that means restoring habitats to, give us a little bit of that natural culture. So we're traveling to get to experience what others are doing and to tell them what we're doing here in Anguilla. And we're doing a good job here in Anguilla.
Yeah, I think so.
Very good. So I'll ask you the same question, Vicky. When you learned that you had been selected for Men's Week, what was your reaction? And did you feel re-inspired in any way, being honored,
I think it was the best call of achievement that I got in a while. I was actually in a hospital. Nothing really bad, but good hospital visit. But when I got it, it was like all these hectic things going on, like this music release, this, that, and it's like, okay, as I say, like a lot of times when we're doing things as men, as people that want bigger things, people that want better, we forget to pause and even celebrate ourselves.
Very true.
A lot of times, so now getting those calls to even remind you that, hey, you are celebrated, people are seeing you, you are doing a good job. It kind of puts a little fire under your belt, but it allows you to stop and pause and appreciate what you've done. So for me, it was a big reflection to be like, okay, people are seeing me. Not only the gender affairs unit that people has given me the award, but people in the community have seen me. That's mean I'm doing a good job.
Somebody had to write a really good note.
Exactly, because I as he said, like, I wasn't aware at all I was nominated. Most of the awards in the past, I had some kind of influence on it. I would kind of probe my fan base, tell my community like, hey, go and vote. This time I was really focused on personal stuff, just really focusing on me. And to get that call, it was like, okay, people are seeing what you're doing. And that feels good.
Right. Any pressure? You feel any pressure now that you are singled out as a role model?
I think for me, I've accepted that a long time ago.
Okay.
So for me, I feel like that was a pause for me to appreciate. But I feel like pressure not so much because I've always think of the next step. I've always thought of how to be better, not for me, but for the community at large. I've always thought about how to influence more, how to do more, and what is that next step. So for me, the award for me was more of a reflection, and I definitely needed that pause.
Do you get to find out who nominated you? Anybody?
They don't tell you.
They don't tell you.
They don't tell you. I've asked a few people in my circle. Nobody never admitted to actually doing so. But I think I knew who did it, but I still don't know because they didn't tell me as well. But no, you don't know.
Right. So Justin, you just had the Angola Day badge of honor.
Yeah, that was,
in a couple of weeks ago, a few weeks ago for Angola Day 2026.
Yeah, that was.
Tell us
Yeah.
how you feel about all these awards. You're the most popular man in Angola right now.
Sure that hard work pays off. And things going in vain.
Yeah.
You understand? I was very proud. I mean, I didn't know until probably the Monday.
Right.
You understand? But I had a hint, but didn't know exactly what
You
it was,
didn't
and
know,
that
right.
made me feel proud. So that made me want to go more.
It gives you a boost of
Understand? It
energy.
gives you a boost, yeah. You
Wow.
understand? So, and then the other one too. Also, I'm very proud about it. You understand? It makes me feel good that what you're doing is not going in vain.
Right.
You
I
understand?
seen.
People looking at you.
Yep, that's good. I'm seeing a question online, a comment, but it could turn into a question. How do we move cycling forward? I mean, and this is a big question because it's just not you.
Yeah.
So I would want to ask at this point, what appeal would you make to government or any other entities
Well, not
to
only
encourage
government.
cycling?
It start from the association. We have to get more youths involved. We have to go to the schools. I'm willing to do it.
Yeah.
But the association and all of us would have to come together and sit down and discuss it so that we get it moving forward because cycling is very poor right now.
Right. Is there room for like a cycling track?
You could get a cycling track, but in Angola we more focus on more
Road,
road race, yeah.
Yeah.
Understand? More road race. A track will be good because then you'll have an indoor track.
Yeah.
You could probably raise funds. You understand, like just like Trinidad and them places. You understand?
Yeah.
But we move on the road.
So where do you get your support from to keep the kids with their bikes, their gear? Where do you get your support from?
The parents.
Parents. This all
Parents
from
and, yeah,
parents.
parents and Shandon and all of us, we all put together and pull up, and
Right.
it's very, very difficult, but
Difficult sometimes.
pull up. And then what we do also with the kids at the end of the year when the season done, we get them to St. Martin for a weekend,
Right.
so them could enjoy themselves and so they could have fun.
So there's definitely room. I hope the government is listening.
Yeah. There's room for improvement.
Yeah, there's room for
And
improvement.
not only government, it's all about even the businesses who could get involved
Yeah.
also. You understand? Because
The collective.
it's
Yeah.
a very, very expensive sport.
Yeah.
And the parents them are spending money. Some of the kids got bike for $5,000.
Right.
You understand? It's a very expensive sport.
Right.
So we need to get something in place like the businesses, when we go to the businesses, to at least help sponsor prizes, you know what I mean? And even the hotels help sponsor prizes because one of the major problems that we have right now with the seniors is that the seniors them is not coming out because they don't have cash prizes.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
And if you're working, you're not going to leave your job to go to work to ride for nothing. And that's one of the major issues that we have right now.
So
Understand?
I want to make a public promise that we'll come down to visit you as a cabinet.
Yeah, you could come
On
down.
one of
You
these
could come
afternoons.
down
On a Wednesday
yeah.
afternoon is good to come
Yeah,
in and visit. What
yeah,
time?
Wednesday, well,
Wednesday 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock?
yeah, 5.
Wednesday
Yeah,
at 5.
Yeah, we start at 5.
Okay.
And
So
you could come down every now and then you could see see the growth and see how the crowd is.
Yeah.
You understand? But it's a very expensive sport and all of us have to come together to get it.
So
right.
Wednesday, we could pencil that in. Somebody is looking. Maybe our cabinet secretary is looking online. If we can pencil in next week Wednesday at 5 o'clock to visit you
Yeah, no problem.
to discuss the way forward,
Yeah.
how we can support.
Yeah. Because sometimes I have some unfortunate kids that
Yeah.
parents have things hard, but we will gel together. You understand? And try, especially when you have traveling and things like that. Some of the parents then can't afford it. We will gel together and put money together and carry them. Not to make nobody feel left out.
Right, right. Mr. Carter, if there was one thing you would like government, parents, families, the wider community to focus on to help develop our young people, to help raise more aware young people, whether it's environmentally conscious, whether it's young people who are focused on climate action, what would your advice be,
To community and government, I think my advice could be for them to sign up their kids to the different activities.
Yeah.
Like you got the Angola National Trust, we do hikes twice a month. Last Saturday and mid-Saturday, there's like DYC has a program where they have this summer camp. Sign your kids for them, get them more involved with being around other people their age group as well. So that there's that like communication that they are comfortable being around people their age and not just in the school system. You need to get your kids involved to stuff outside of just school. And then we also have, I'm a swim instructor, like join like the swim camps, do theater stuff. Like there's so much of other things that parents could be putting their kids into. And, just diversify. There's football camps that helps a lot of kids. There's so much. And I think that if you see like a child that's not, very active, or maybe the parents can't, afford it, support them, help them, sponsor a child to be in one of these activities. Maybe like cycling. If you know that there's a child that might be good at it, but can't afford, to buy like the expensive bike, support that child. Give them that, feeling that they need it, that they want it, and they will appreciate it. They will, come back to you and thank you one day for helping them out when they needed it. And then next thing for government, I guess a theater, like a proper swimming pool. Because right now the swim athletes are using the ocean, but most of the competitions are in pools.
Yeah.
So like those kind of things.
Right. Yeah, I know that this swimming pool is in progress. So Viggy, in terms of exposure, do you feel like the artists and creatives like yourself get enough exposure here in Anguilla? Is there anything more that needs to be done? How can government, private sector maybe assist? Is there more things that we need to be doing? What would you ask us? What would be your appeal, for whether it's private sector or government to get involved in the sector some more to create more exposure and opportunities?
As Mr. Richardson said, to be honest, I think everything that we are involved in here are quite expensive.
Yeah.
Anguilla itself, because as I say, like I played cricket from since I was 9, and like I think one of my colleagues were talking about the fact that we have probably one of the highest number of first-class cricketers that ever played in the Caribbean, and most of the facilities that they grew up on was subpar. And I think that speaks volume that we have a lot of talent here, and we make little of what we have. I mean, we make a lot of what we have. So I would definitely stretch on if when it comes to exposure, or what we have or what to grow on. I think that the entities, the government, private entities as well should understand that cultural things is stretches way beyond carnival time. Understanding that there's careers in culture, a lot. There's a lot of careers in culture, and there's people that needs the systems. We need a lot of systems in place for people to grow, not just to showcase themselves for 2 weeks and then go back in a shell, but to definitely continue growing. So whether it be workshops, a lot more workshops, a lot more exposures to seeing different countries, different cultures, working with different other people from other countries to network and grow. I definitely think it's a start there. But I definitely think developmental workshops, stuff like that, working with bringing in people to work from other countries to show us culturally what other countries have to offer and how we can mix our culture with their professionalism, because they'll be doing things on a wider scale. And just creating that opportunity for us to grow and see that careers can be beneficial out of culture.
Very, very interesting. Very good. So as we wrapping up, this is we're almost to our time mark. Any closing comments by anybody? This has been a really good interview for me. This is my first time hosting, and I really enjoyed, just having the little conversation on the various topics. So much, we can learn so much from each other, and we just sit down, relax, and just open up, and be free. Just speak from the heart, and just discuss all things, culture, youth, progress, Anguilla. We are all in this thing together, right? So, any closing comments? Anybody would like to say anything as we wrap up?
I would like to just thank the listening public. Also, thank you for the privilege to be here. I'm like, as a person, like the backseat. But let's work with sports in general, so that we keep the kids off the road. You understand? So, like I say, appealing to all the older folks. Let's reach out to them and try to help them.
Right. Devon, anything?
I just would say for these men to step up, find someone, mentor someone. You shouldn't go through a year without ever, influencing some other younger male to step up and to be better. One of my mottos is always to be kind, be kind, be kind.
Right.
Teach people kindness, and then they would express that kindness back to the you and to the community.
Yep.
So I'm all about community support and making sure you bring in the community forward and creating that Anguilla that we want to see, and not the one that people are claiming are we leading to with all the violence. So I aim for peace.
Very inspiring. We could never have enough mentors, so we have a gap to close.
Yep.
Last words, Vicky?
I definitely, as all of my colleagues said, I definitely think that we all have a part in the growth of Angola's young men. I definitely feel that we should not look to wait on somebody to do what we can do. Timothy started his cycling club because of what he saw, right? I feel like we all should make better examples of ourselves, to make better examples for the people that's in front of us, and just start with yourself, and try to be as excellent as you can be, and then the rest of the system will follow suit.
Right. Yeah. I absolutely love this conversation. I think men should always just find time to sit down and talk.
Yeah.
I don't think we do that enough. We are so distracted with work, and then we want to have a little time to have some fun and what's not. But to sit down and have these in-depth discussions, it goes to a different level.
I think we should have it a little more often.
A lot more often. So folks, thank you so much. And this is a wrap. This was amazing. Have a good night to our audience listening. And to everyone, drive safe, get home safe.
Right.
Appreciate you.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, host.